Alright, it's Wednesday evening and it's time for the Valley's most in-depth weather forecast video. We call it Weather for Weather Geeks. Good evening, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the pretty nice afternoon we had today. It wasn't quite as stifling as the last couple of days, but still pretty hot. Wanted to start out this evening with a cool stat that I looked up last evening, thanks to someone on Twitter who asked me about this, and that got me to thinking, hey, that's a good point. Maybe I need to look this up. It has only happened 2 times in recorded history here in Youngstown, where in the same month we've had measurable snow, in other words, more than just flakes, more than a trace of snow, and also a high temperature of 90 or above. Yesterday's high was 90 at the airport, and it was about 2 weeks ago we did have a half an inch of snow at the Youngstown Warren Airport. So April 1942 and May 2020, the only months that qualify for this stat. It's been a remarkable May so far. And this time lapse today is a pretty cool one from Columbiana. Field of cumulus clouds this afternoon, and above that, in the high altitudes, we had cirrus clouds. And that cirrus deck of high clouds made for some cool optical phenomena today. We had some 22-degree halos and some circumhorizontal arcs. Easy for me to say. Basically, little rainbows in the clouds. They have all sorts of different names depending on their shape and how much of the sky they take up. But basically, when you look up and you see some colors up in the clouds that kind of look like a rainbow, that's what we're talking about. And oftentimes we see that when we see high clouds and a fair amount of sunshine. For the second consecutive day, my high temperature map does not want to populate for the Cleveland climate sites. Not sure why that is, but our high today was 83, I believe, at the airport, unless it got to 84 after the issuance of the daily climate report. But it was either 83 or 84. Not the 90 we had yesterday, but still pretty warm and still pretty muggy for this time of the year. All right, at the bottom of the screen, this plume of moisture, this got a name at the last minute this morning, right before it made landfall in South Carolina. This was Tropical Storm Bertha. Now, it's hardly anything more than just a massive rain, and this is going to bring some heavy rain to parts of the central Appalachians from southwest Virginia up through the mountains of West Virginia into the panhandle of Maryland, parts of western PA, and we'll get in on some of this rain, I think, as we head into the late night hours for tonight. Also a severe weather threat this evening in parts of the Lone Star State, that is Texas, of course, including Austin, San Antonio, and Houston. And the drier air is still lurking across the middle of the country. The lower 48's roughly divided in half this evening. The western half, dry air, eastern half, kind of a midsummer-like air mass with pretty moist air. All right, our rain's going to push in later on tonight. Now, you'll see on our FUTURECAST here, there's a little green as early as 2 or 3, but I think this is mostly towards 4, 5, 6 in the morning, and then especially by 7 or 8. I think it's going to be a soggy start to the day, but it's not an all-day washout tomorrow. This plume of moisture will push off to the north by midday at the latest. The afternoon will feature a mix of sun and clouds. Maybe there's a stray shower, but by far and away, the wettest part of Thursday will be between, say, 6 a.m. and maybe 10 a.m. If you have plans to be outside beyond that, I think we'll be in better shape. It's still going to be pretty warm and pretty humid, but not quite as hot as it has been. All right, let's talk about Friday's situation. We have a strong cold front heading our way, and ahead of this front, it'll be warm, it'll be muggy. The threat for heavy gusty storms may be somewhat dependent on how much sunshine we see in the morning through the first part of the afternoon. If we see an appreciable amount of sunshine, this could be a pretty decent severe weather period, late afternoon, early evening on Friday. If we have a lot of debris clouds pushing in other words, kind of minimizing the heating and minimizing the instability of the air, the severe weather threat would probably be pretty marginal on Friday. Whatever happens Friday, though, it's definitely going to be a calmer and cooler weekend. Now, the SPC, the Storm Prediction Center, does have a darker green area to our east, meaning the low-end risk of severe weather includes State College, Altoona, up towards Rochester, over into Albany, and down towards Philadelphia. I suspect we're going to see, when this becomes the day 2 outlook tomorrow morning, early in the morning, you're going to see that low-end risk edged back farther to the west, maybe as far west as I-71, but at least back to I-77. I think that a low-end risk is probably justified. Not sure if it needs to be a category above that, but at least for a handful of hours Friday afternoon, Friday evening, we may have to be on our toes weather-wise. And I showed you this last evening in case you missed it, though. A big air mass change coming our way for the weekend. And this drier air will stick around through the first couple of days of next week. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and even into Tuesday, the dew points will be rock bottom, meaning some cool nights, beautiful afternoons. especially Sunday and Monday. I mean, hardly a cloud in the sky Sunday and Monday. It's going to be spectacular outside, but yeah, you'll need a jacket if you're out early in the morning or late in the evening. But that cool down is kind of a 4-day deal. I think summer will come roaring on back towards the end of next week into next weekend as we welcome in the first weekend of June. Right around the 7th, 8th, 9th of June, it looks pretty toasty. Maybe not the 90 kind of weather that we had earlier this week, but certainly warmer than the start of next week. So the 8 to 14 day outlook kind of illustrates that in just about all of the country with the exception of the Pacific Northwest. All right, that'll do it for me tonight, short and sweet, with a quiet night unfolding. Should be a nice sunset after a nice sunrise this morning. These high clouds should make for a nice sunset this evening, so check that out. If you get some great pictures, send them along, weather pics, P-I-C-S, at WFMJ.com. You could submit those on the Storm Tracker 21 app. You can also send them to me on Instagram, on Facebook, and on Twitter as well. I will see you tonight on 21 News at 11 and back here on Thursday for more Weather for Weather Geeks.